very much. Welcome the committee members, secretariat, and our guests. Before we proceed, let me start with the word of prayer. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of the leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and those of whose interest you have committed to our church. Amen. Let me invite the legal department to administer oath.
I, Jonathan Kipkemai Korir, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Mr. Tusio.
I, B. Gilbert Kipkruibi, do swear that the evidence I shall keep before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Let me make an inquiry. I hope you are coming with Public Service Board. Also, it is domiciled in your department.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe just to mention that first, let me register the apologies from this Public Service Board, but I have their documentation with regards to whatever this committee has requested. The Public Service Board, I think they were engaged somewhere, but I have their documentation ready.
You have all the documentations?
Yes.
Don't you have any one maybe so that they can answer questions directly? Because they are the ones who are running the department. You should be having maybe maybe the CEO or anybody working within that department.
I think in the morning the CEO called me, and that is the one that who sent the accountant to give me the documentation, and I've gone through the documentation, and I can maybe say I can table it before this committee and be able to answer on their behalf.
Okay.
Maybe before that, we had made a request, and as by their timetable, they knew that they are supposed to appear before here. I think they should take this house seriously. So maybe you'll give a ruling, Chair, that they'll present, because these are some of the things that they have been, unless the CEO proves that he has been accounting for the Public Service Board. But if they are supposed to do a clarification, they have to appear before us. So, Chair, we seek for your guidance because they have more than 2 weeks since we had given them the request to appear before us. So there is no enough reason to give to this house that they are registering their apologies.
Yes,
Honorable Chair.
Chairman, I think before Waziri, do you know that you are not Public Service Board and the CEO?
Yeah, we are not.
In any case, if you've been sent, we might need as a committee chairman that we send them back again to go and bring them from where they are. Because you see, if you've agreed to be sent, of course we are now sending you to go and bring them here. That should be the case, Chairman, as a committee. Because they need to take this, the work of this committee seriously.
Honorable Chair,
you have something to
before
say?
you give a ruling, Honorable Chair, I just wanted to mention what he has said, what the CEO had said, is that it's because I think they don't seem to have any pending bills.
Maybe Chairman,
Honorable Moses.
Chairman, yeah, what is before us is an issue of maybe deliberate skipping an exercise that is constitutional, an exercise that is binding, and we're headed towards a financial year, ending of a financial year, and a proper transition to a new budget of 2025-2026. Maybe we would mean it would be calculated that maybe because we halted the process of approving the next financial year's budget because of issues of pending bills and issues of budgetary absorption and issues of utility of line items. Maybe, Chairman, maybe the board doesn't require any financial allocation for the following financial year. If that is the case, we can easily proceed and just disregard them.
Thank you. Let me make a ruling because of time. Since you are appearing as a department of PSM and you are here already, we'll allow you to proceed. And you see Public Service Board is domiciled in your department, but it's a bit independent and they are running their activities independently. We will like them to appear before us either tomorrow, we'll sort them time tomorrow. Though we are finalizing our work this week, they will come even if it is late in the night, we'll be here to wait for them. Another thing is, Wazir, is I saw you try to say there is no pending bill. What I can say to you is we don't call a department, we will not leave a department because they don't have a pending bill. We want you to come and demonstrate to us whether you have or not, you don't have the pending bill. You cannot assume that since you don't have a pending bill, you will not appear before us. There are several departments who have appeared before us, and they proved to us that there is no pending bill. So we'll proceed with you, but still, Public Service Board, we will allocate time before you leave so that they appear before us officially.
Chairman,
thank you.
Can I inquire if they fail to have the pending bills, don't they have the pending commitments? Because obviously there are some commitments in which we envisaged to get through the department.
Thank you. Honorable Gilbert, let's allow the Department of PSM, Public Service Board, to come and answer when it comes. We want to embark on your pending bills. Before we proceed, let me allow members to introduce themselves. Let me start with myself. My name is Vincent Korir. I'm the chair of this ad hoc committee, and I represent Londiani Ward.
Thank you, Chair. Gladys Chesangwet, Special Elect, Member to the Committee.
Gilbert Ngetich, Kimarus MCA Gishara Ward, Member to Committee. I'm Rotich Moses, representing Tendano Soget Ward, and a member to this ad hoc committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Kipe Peter, MCA Kapsuser Ward.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Gabriela Chapina, member of this committee.
And I'm Kibet Bosbin, MC Jablanget Ward, and a member.
Beatrice Chepkemoi, member to this committee.
Teach member, thank you.
As Secretariat, introduce yourselves.
Good afternoon, I'm Sharon Mibe, Deputy Clerk in charge of Legislative, Legal and Procedural Services.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Principal Clerk.
Welcome, my name is Abraham Langat, Administrator of the County Assembly.
Thank you. I'm Kimeto Liston, Answer Officer.
Good afternoon, I'm Chief Kemoy Masi, Internal Auditor.
I'm Rose Mchai, the Principal Clerk.
I'm Kimwachi Kirich Sachinatang.
I'm Diana Muchai Sajinata.
Thank you. Did you present all the documents that were requested before this committee? Because
I think, Chair, as a department, we submitted all the required documentation to the Office of the County Secretary to be transmitted to this Honorable House.
Secretariat, do we have all the documents as requested? Nixon, do we have the documents before us?
But still, Chair, if I have copies of the same that we forwarded to the Office of the County Secretary.
Kindly submit to Secretariat and then we'll run the copies so that we can be able to have sufficient documents. In the meantime, as we are waiting for these documents, we will still come and ask questions. Maybe you can state to us the status of pending bills in your department for the last 3 years. Before, as we are waiting, because we need the documents, let me read for you the TOR and kindly capture what this committee intends to achieve, so that as this one, supply to members. Let me read for you the terms of reference. This committee was constituted so that it can be able to ascertain the pending bills for the financial year 2022-2023, financial year 2023-2024, financial year 2024-2025, from all the 10 departments. We also want to ascertain the requisitions for the last 3 financial years versus the expenditure. We want to verify all the procurement works undertaken in the last 3 financial years. We want to ascertain the procurement works done in the past 3 financial years, determine what was paid in terms of works, goods, and services, including consultant services, by obtaining IFMIS statements and any other valid document used to settle debts by the county government of Kericho. We want to reduce pending bills that have already been settled and provide proof of settlement per department per financial year. We want to establish the outstanding pending bills and the budgetary allocations for the said outstanding pending bills per department per financial year. We also want to establish the effect of settlement of pending bills on proposed new projects and approved projects in all county governments of Kericho planning documents. We want to find out the causes of the pending bills in each department and propose mechanisms that ensure that practices that occasion pending bills are minimized. This is not limited to disciplinary processes for state officers and public servants responsible for plunging the county into pending bill cycle. We will also propose a clear roadmap, including county legislations, on how to tame the menace of pending bills in the county government of Kericho. We will do a report and finding to this House within the 30 days period from the approval of the motion. Thank you very much. I see you have supplied us with documents. I think I have seen the documents now. Kindly demonstrate to us maybe and explain to the committee on the status of pending bills.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
For the last 3 financial years.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, thank you. My name is Korir. I've been accompanied by my CEO, who will take us through the report as requested. We stand guided. We'll provide the necessary information to this committee so that you perform your oversight role. Thank you. I want to usher in the CEO.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and honorable members. I'll now take you through pending bills as at 30th May of 2025 for the Department of Public Service. One, we have a construction of Bureti Fire Station that has been long overdue since it was in 2021-2022. That is fully documented. We have also one for fabrication of the fire engine. That again was for 2021-2022 at a cost of 9.2 which has never been resolved to date. Number three, this is under development, was an ACROC Works Limited. It was for renovation of and erection of fencing and gate installation, water collection at Kimugul Kada Ward, which since 30th May it stands resolved, but those are fully documented. So the pending bill is at 30th May 2025 for the Department of Public Service Management stands at 12.1. That is for development. For recurrent, only is in relations to legal, and one for fabrication of the fire engine to a company called Dynox. So the total pending bills as at 30th May amounted to 3.82144. That is 3,682,144.
Thank you. Is that all?
Yes.
Members, maybe if you have looked at the documents, then we can interrogate. Now, where is the document? Now, how many are still pending? You mentioned in this one you said about Kidao Kimugul. I didn't have the document with me.
Pardon?
This one thing you mentioned about Kidao Kimugul. Can you repeat? I think you said.
No, I was saying.
Yes.
I was saying all the first page was on development, the pending bills on development. One was on for Bureti Fire Station. 2 was on fabrication of the fire engine. 3 was for Kedawa and Kimukul ward office. It was erection of the fencing, installation of the rainwater collection, and electricity and access road to the same. This was done in 2023-2024, but settlement was done in 2024-2025.
So it means you have already settled?
Yes. That's why the outstanding, if you see at the column of the outstanding bill as at 30th, it's already nil. We have settled.
Do you have pending commitments?
The pending commitment is only one. But we didn't indicate it here because, you know, pending commitment, we only strictly pending bills. You know, pending bills revolves around where some documentation, full documentation had been given out. You know, for pending commitment, you maybe works were committed by word of mouth. There are no documentations, but works was done. But the department is much aware of the same. It's only one.
It means you have settled all the pending bills that maybe you don't have any pending bill at now.
Yes. Besides this one, we have presented.
That you are about to pay. What is the status of the current works that were procured in this financial year?
Chair, I'm seeing as per in the first page, the pending bill, which was for 31st January 2024, was cleared, it was paid. But you have not paid for 2021-2022, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Reason? And what is the status? Wasn't it budgeted for? Or what could be the reason?
A minute, Chair. I think let me start from number 1. The number 2, that is on fabrication of the fire engine. You remember, Chair, when we were in this in Naivasha, Mheshimiwa Kimaru's a mention of the aspect of the fire engine that was supposed to be in Litein. There was a machine that was taken to Dylan Engineering for fabrication in the year 2021-2022, and with regards to the quotation sent to us by the said company, amounted to 9.2 million, 71,671. But since when we assess and we invited people from the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure to do valuation and the report from the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure gave us the quantity of works done by the said company at a tune of 2.7 million, 2,706,340, and that's where the stalemate started, because the contractor Tilan is demanding 9.2, but from the report from the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure is their quantification, and the report is here with us. They are saying the amount to be paid is 2.7. For Litain, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, you remember again last when we were in Naivasha, and I remember I had also mentioned to Honorable Mheshimiwa Gilbert when he asked about the same. The works for Litain was, the total cost for the construction of the fire station was 8,249,145. And the amount that has so far been paid is 5,321,382 by 10. Now the remaining balance is 2.927,760. Now the question we're asking ourselves is, why is the issue not been resolved? Two, Chair, you remember I had also mentioned that we sent the county valuer and engineers to go and review the same. The quantity.
Chairman, allow me to ask the CEO to repeat the amount paid.
The amount paid is 553,21,5385. That is 5,321,385.
Okay.
So the amount remaining that needs now to be settled is 2.927,760. But the issues revolving this issue that has never been settled, Chair and Honorable Members, is the contractor is requesting for variation. See, the same contractor has also invoiced us to make the final payment of 2.9. When we did the site visit and outreach to the able to this committee, and the valuation of our county valuers valued the works done already at the site at a cost of 3,658,000. So as an accounting officer, I will also not be in a position to maybe agree to the request of the contractor to make a final payment of 2.9, whereas the amount already been paid supersedes the valuation of the works done. So my recommendation to the contractor is to proceed to the site, conclude the works until it reaches a percentage of the amount paid, that is 5.238.385. Then now he or she claims the remaining balance of 2.9. And I'll table to this committee the report of the valuation on the same. I think that's it, Chair.
Chairman, to the CEO, before you presented on the second part of your presentation, you indeed mentioned something very critical. And you know, you have answered that there are some works that you have not indicated in this document that maybe they were given out by a word of mouth. Is that the real standing of the department?
No, I'm saying, Chair, you know, government is in perpetuity. It's a going concern. So what I'm saying is there are some of the works that maybe they had been given out, but now the challenge is no proper documentation then was done. Now we are finding out as a department that there was this work done, but now we need to work on documentation. That's why I'm saying we need now to go and look into it and work on it.
You know,
but the services were offered.
It is very critical, CEO, that before you appear before this committee, you need to have done due diligence and the nitty-gritty in your department so that you could present to us. You know, there's no any other opportunity we will ever accept or demit, because the reason as to why we are doing this at this particular time is because we are heading to a very critical budget phase of 2025-2026. And you know, as a rule, funding bills is a fast charge. What will be validated here is the only ones that maybe it will be admissible to be considered and paid in this financial year. What you have not ascertained that indeed it was offered, the service was offered, there was no documentation. What does it take to process the documentation for these people, if indeed they offered the service?
Maybe Chair and honorable members, to answer Mheshimiwa Rotich's question, you remember the best practice is you all request for the service you need, and you already seen your budget, that your budget is sufficient to procure for that service. That's number one. Number two, if you find out that there are some commitments that were done, what the due diligence that you need to do as an accounting officer is, was there an award letter? Was there an LSO? Because that is what constitutes a pending bill. A pending bill should first be something that was processed to a point of payment, but now the challenge was there was insufficient fund, but the LSO had been produced. But now in a scenario where you don't have an award, you don't have an LSO, you need to only recognize as a pending commitment and now resolve on how you can settle it.
The question would be how and when.
Honorable Gilbert.
Chairman, thank you for the information in which I've really gathered from the talk of the CEO. And it is seemingly there is a disagreement between the contractor and the department. Is that? That the contractor should go to the site and work on the project until it reaches a payment point. That is the 5.3 million. How far have you agreed? Has he agreed to go back? Because if he has not agreed to go back to the site, we are not supposed to be having this figure as a pending bill now, because it will not appear as a pending bill before he walks to the optimum valuation done to the project.
Maybe Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, let me answer Mheshimiwa B in Gilbert on the same. You remember when you engage the contractor to go on site, she insists that the final certificate of 2.9 be paid, which from my end, I'm seeing it's not fair also to the county government to make a full payment of the project that you know it's already below bar.
But now, Chairman, when you highlight this project to have a pending bill, it's like you have committed yourself to pay, meaning you are already abiding to the need of the contractor, which of course you know the valuation report in which you did is not in tandem with the payment made.
Maybe just to highlight on that, Chair and honorable members, you remember these are projects that had already been started in the year 2021-2022, isn't it? In the year 2022-2023, there was nothing done. No valuation, nothing done. You find at the end of the day, maybe the contractor has been requesting the department for the final payment. What I did when I joined the department is, I need first to ascertain, you know, I can, because I've already been to Litaine. You find the structure is there, yes, but there's not been done to completion. Now the contractor needs a final payment of 2.9. So the best thing I would have done as an accounting officer is first send engineers and the valuers of our county to do an assessment of already what has been done, if it really fits, or if the remaining works is below the amount that the contractor requires. If so, then the contractor can continue, we give the final payment. But now, you see at the end of the day, the valuation that was done is below par. That is 3.2. That's around 50% of the works. So 50%, and someone requires 3.3, requires 2.9 as a final payment. You see at the end of the day, as a county government, we will not have done justice also to the citizen of this county.
CEO, you are confirming to me that this money is not supposed to be paid unless he go and works to 5.3 million.
Yes.
In short, you are telling us this should not even qualify to be a pending bill.
Yes.
Unless he does what is expected.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The UCPSM is really dealing with employees. There's a statutory debts. There's a love fund from the defunct local authority of 42 million. 667, 290. There is the LAP fund for the county government of 177,400,420. There is the LAP fund CRF of 24,143,362, totaling 244,211,72 shillings. These have not been remitted by the county government of Kericho to pension funds. What is the department doing about it?
Maybe just to answer you on that, Honorable Chair, Honorable members, for all the statutory remittance, the Department of Public Service Management has always been remitting all the statutory on time. It be NSSF, it be pay, it be gratuity, it be the pension for our staffs. But what has also been a challenge to us is, once we remit these funds, we send as a block. What our pensioners need to do is what we call reconciliation. That's the argument, that's the point of things we have been following up with LAP Fund, the LAP Trust, and you remember the 142 million that is purported to be under local authorities was something that was paid long time ago. It's only on their end that needs to do reconciliation. But from our end, everything is okay.
So you want to confirm that the 244 million has already been remitted?
Everything was remitted, Chair.
So we don't have any pending bill on that?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, these are statutory
deductions.
Those have been deducted from the staffs. And when we are doing requisition monthly, it be for payment of staff salaries, it includes the remittance of the state's statutory, it be pension or gratuity for the contractual staffs.
Will you be able to supply any evidence or any documentation proving that this money has been remitted?
Okay.
No so we'd like to have those documentation and any other thing that can prove that this money has been remitted, so that we cannot capture it as a pending bill.
Sure.
I saw you shared the development pending bill, and I've not heard you talk about the recurrent. Did you capture recurrent?
Yes, I did. 3.6.
Okay. Now let me ask you, what makes the department maybe have pending bills? Do you have any reason why we normally have pending bills in the department?
Maybe before that, Chair, they should also explain in terms of the recurrent, because this one was for the last financial year, and up to date, they have not done any payment. What could be the challenges?
For which one?
For the recurrent.
And also, as you answer Honorable Diplo's question, there is a question of around 1,500 staffs who are not on IPPD, maybe as the custodian of our workforce personnel in our county. Where are these staffs attached, and which service are they offering?
Yes, Honorable.
I'm seeing on the recurrent CO that you have about 3 companies in which you use them for legal services. What are the cases in which you really, that necessitates you to change the companies dealing with these cases? Because I think the prime thing for every company is the payment. If you paid FC Board and the company advocates, definitely you will be using that particular company every now and then. Why are you having several companies? Or you work on Fulisa in another company as you look for a new one. And then these cases again, what will be the work of the county attorney if you really have to really work on the recurrent expenditure on hiring another legal officer externally?
So that you can answer once, I want you to comment on, we have Association of Contractors that brought us pending bills from various departments, and there's one for PSM. I think there are around 4 of them. And again, they are saying partially documented. What do you mean by partially documented? Kindly comment on that, plus what Honorable Gilbert has said, so that we can be able to summarize. Do you have the document from the contractors?
I have a copy of it on WhatsApp.
You have a copy? So kindly comment on what-
maybe Chair and Honorable members, you remember when we were talking here, we talked of what is pending commitment in the department. So from the list supplied to us by, supplied to you by the contractors, we only acknowledge number 1. Number 4 is already in the IP. But for number 2 and 3, those doesn't belongs to public service management. We don't have cleaning services.
Yes, okay, so,
Yes.
so you say you only know number 1, you have them.
Yes.
Now they say partially documented, what does it mean?
Unless now the suppliers with documentation they have. Because from our end, what we only know is the department was only doing what we call in the process of awarding. So we only found the award letter only, but no other documentation.
They
That's
don't
why,
have-
maybe that's why they indicated partially documented.
So they don't have maybe an LSO?
Yes.
Okay.
What about number 2?
Number 2, we don't have, we have never engaged someone by the name Natim Enterprise.
The badly documented thing. Honorable CEO, you've really told us that when they say partially documented, they mean they have, could be
Only
an
an
award letter. What have in your records? Do you have it partially documented or full documentation?
It's for the same COPECA, it's only partially. That's the only thing that's only available is.
When are you giving the full documentation? At what point, as a department, are you giving full documentation?
As I was saying, Chair, you remember everything revolves budgetary allocation. So if and all this has been done through what we call catering services, because these are the only activities that revolves the supply of tents or and organizing a Christmas tree. You remember? So what's only as a department, what needs to be done, if we have that budgetary regulation, as we move to the next financial year, we still need to acknowledge this as pending commitment. So we'll now process for the said contractor, the LSO, once we have the budgetary allocation. So and when we say full documentation, now if they have an award, we'll have to now supply them with an LSO.
CEO.
Yes.
But there are situations in which you offer an award without any allocation. Are there times where an award exists without a budgetary allocation for the same?
You remember, the only thing that passes through the system is an LSO.
So meaning,
captures
what is our
budget.
contractors can at times receive an award letter whenever there is no allocation.
That's why
you just permit them to supply.
That's why Honorable Chair and Honorable members, we also insist to our suppliers that you only commence work when you get an LSO, because an LSO is good as saying done and paid.
What happened to this?
Pardon?
Is it during the time for COPECA?
It was at the time of Christmas tree. It was the end of the financial year. At the end of the
What was the commitment, CEO?
Pardon?
That he does as he waits for the allocation?
Maybe I can't mention because I wasn't there then.
Oh, someone else was there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you inherited.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
But for number 4, it's already in IP. But for number 3 and 4, 2 and 3, we don't have, we have never engaged Jotrofin for cleaning services, and we have never engaged nothing for supply of projectors.
Now, CEO, in terms of when you are planning into your department,
yes,
do you have a procurement plan that you stick to, so that when you are doing requisitions, there is a budget, the procurement plan, and most probably will be knowing that you have some funds, so that you can be able to ensure that whoever is doing the project, most probably there was, first of all, public participation done somewhere, if it is a development. Then you have CIDP, ADP, and then you come up with those documentation that comes to budget up to procurement plan.
Honorable Chair, to answer you on that, all our procurement plans are based on what has been captured in CIDP and ADP from all the wards.
you said you award someone and there is no budget. How will you award someone a work when it's not in budget?
Honorable member, maybe just to mention and be clear on that is on recurrent, those are the things that are not captured in ADP or CIDP, but only aspect of development.
Okay, so yes. So that one was recurrent, eh?
Yes.
There's a document you supplied to us, eh? You see this one came to our table now.
Yes.
On the issue of valuation. Can you comment something about this? Because you
that's why I was explaining on why we have never settled the 9.2 million with regards to T-line engineering. You know, and the 2.9 with regards to Red Dog on construction of Buruti Fire Station.
Is this document justifying the reason why you have not paid?
Yes.
So this is your proof?
Yes.
Now,
because the valuation at the ground is 3.6.
What decision are you going to make so that you settle these things once and for all? Will you make a decision? Maybe
we still have to engage the contractor on the same. If now the contractor will not adhere to it, definitely we'll have to initiate the process of terminating. Even though already the contract has elapsed, because by virtue of it being overtaken by, you know, it was started in 2021, 2022, and we're in 2024, 2025. And since then, he has never reported back to the site.
So
in procurement laws, meaning the contractor abandoned site.
No, because we are heading to the close of the year. We are almost a few weeks to the end of the year.
Yes.
Can you assure this? When are you going to make concrete decisions so that we don't transfer this problem to another financial year?
We'll engage contractor between this week and next week.
Chairman,
maybe before.
Chairman.
Order. Honorable.
And
Order, we'll give you a chance. Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. On the same, CEO, now, if you have to terminate the contract and you have confessed or you have confirmed that the payment which was made was above the work done, what made, how did you approach when somebody was raising the first certificate for the first payment? Was the QS didn't visit the site to prove the work done before payment? Because even if you terminate the contract, already this person was overpaid. How will you surcharge for the work which was not done?
Thank you. Honorable Gilbert. You answer and then.
Okay, Chairman, thank you. Wanted to just make a clarity on what the CEO had said, that this pending bill is not supposed to be paid as of now, because there is a negotiation in which they are supposed to be with the contractor. I think that's the case.
Yes.
Which of course comes a very good question from Honorable Kemoy, that now that the guy has been overpaid up to 5.3 million and the valuation report is 2.7, what will happen?
You kindly answer.
Maybe Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, you remember I started by saying we'll have to engage the contractor between now and next week. But I'm overseeing a situation whereby maybe the contractor would say, I've spent much of my money on the site, I can't go back unless I be paid on the same. So event that will again trigger us to a stalemate as to why the said project is not running to completion. So, but the best practice is now to have an honest conversation with the contractor and say, if the contract sum was 8.2 then, and maybe now you are saying you have spent some money, then again as a department we need to sit and say, can we have an amendment to have what you call a review of the contract sum? If that is possible, then we can have that direction, so that we have that project moving to completion.
So it means the department, you have a task of ensuring that a decision is made.
Yes.
So that the people of Kericho County can be able to get the services.
Sure.
Because the more you stay and the more you there is a conflict, then it means this project is not going to be completed as required. And again, I believe if there are independent bodies that normally maybe come in. If there are, kindly follow those procedures so that you can refer to a fair and independent body that can be able to solve this issue once and for all. I would like to ask if there's further questions from the members, from the department. If there are no further questions, then I would like to appreciate the team. Kindly, we will require the documents that we highlighted in our TOR. Although there was a question on staff who are not on IPPD. Kindly comment on that.
Maybe Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, I would wish to Honorable Member who raised the aspect of the 1,500 staff who are on IPPD. Currently, we don't have any staff from who are on outside payroll, outside the what we call integrated payroll management system. That's IPPD. Since we have migrated from IPPD to HRIS, so there is no single staff that is paid outside the HRIS as at today. And maybe unless now the Honorable Member clarifies as to where he got the number of 15, the year, because from last year, we had only 4 people who were outside IPPD. That was only the CEOs who had not, their files had not been transferred to our payroll, which the same was done in the before the closure of financial last year. So
it was captured by Auditor General on in the financial year 2023-2024. There was that query.
Maybe that was, you know, you remember. Also, in the I think most of you are on the devolution conference at 12, and you remember the 172 million that was purported to have been paid outside. That's manual payroll, which is in this case not manual payroll. You remember the confirmation of the ECD teachers who used to be paid on payroll, yes, but they had not gotten what you call a personal numbers. So for someone to be in IPPD, he or she needs to have a personal number, which again was done. You remember the staff also on contract from health services. They had no PF when they incorporated to the system. As now I'm confirming to this committee as that as 30th May, there is no one that is being paid outside HRIS.
About the enforcement officers.
All of them have personal numbers now.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Now, during supplementary, there was some money, almost 100 million, that was transferred to your department to pay some statutory deduction or some money owed to employees. Yes, did you make any request to finance?
To pay what?
400 million to pay, was it statutory deductions or for some arrears for employees?
No. We have never, as a department, we have never made any request for payment of any arrears.
So there was no 100 million added to you?
No.
During supplementary?
The only request that was done was only on the aspect of the PE. That salary, we are running a deficit of 26 million. That is it. Yes. Personal emolument.
What had happened was on the issue of bursaries. The information we got was that the monies from the bursary kitty was transferred to PSM to levelize on statutory deductions that had not been remitted. You remember when SHA came in, initially NHIF was somehow a standardized rate of remittance. But for the case of SHA, it is based on the basic pay. Are you aware of such a case of an increment of close to 100 million to your department so that you are not spending?
To answer you, Honorable Member, and through the Chair, you remember this Honorable House also passed the same supplementary budget. And if we can still produce the same supplementary budget to this committee, you remember there is no addition of any 100 million to the Department of Public Service unless it's only 26 million with regards to personal emolument, that is PE salaries, which by the time you are in December, the department realized that we are in a shortfall of 26 million only on salaries. We have 4 departments. It was health services, PSM, finance, and agriculture. No, we always budget for statutory reductions. Yes.
CEO is confirming to us that we are good for a guess that someone lied to us on oath. Thank you, CEO.
CEO, what are your plans in terms of reinforcement officers? I know their term is almost ending. Will you renew their contract, or what are your plans as the department?
To answer you, Honorable Peter, through the chair, I think on the aspect of our enforcement officers, yes, their contract is coming to an end on 30th of September this year. And as a department, it's routine for us to, if we usually do what is called performance appraisals. So if before then, before we renew their contracts, we assess the performance of the state officers before any renewal. That is, but I'm assuring them that they'll be renewed. Besides the renewal, Honorable Chair, I'll also be coming to this committee to request again on the aspect of an avenue of seeing how we can confirm them. But now the challenge that comes in with the confirmation is, as we speak, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, the wage bill is at way above 42%. So with the challenges we are encountering as a department is, with the bringing of our enforcement officers to PNP, will it not now affect our wage bill? To even, I'm very sure that by the time this exercise of audit will complete, you remember we confirmed the health workers last year. So the wage bill might even cross a 45% mark. With the wage bill now grows to at 45% mark, as a county, we also need to sit and see how can we reduce on the wage bill the required standard of 35%. The only simple answer is we enhance on on-source revenue.
Thank you.
Yes.
As at that, on those on-source revenue, you know, these enforcement officers are fatigued, and we are expecting them as the custodian of our on-source revenue. You realize many a times they are chasing vehicles here, they are checking on whether there is compliance and many other aspects. You know, we are dealing with a workforce that was very critical towards improving the on-source. If, in any case, we want to improve on the on-source revenue, Wazir is here, and is the principal advisor to His Excellency the Governor on the matters of public service management. What you need to raise as a concern on cabinet is the welfare of our enforcement officers. If these people are disregarded, more and more would mean we will never achieve on our revenue targets, and we will have many suffering. In fact, the order would have been the opposite initially, that we start on tightening the revenue collection by first confirming these people, then the other list of confirmation that we have done would have followed. But nevertheless, we have to look at a way out of considering these revenue staffs and enforcement team.
Honorable Chair, I stand
Maybe
guided.
also, Wasiri, as you answer that, a rejoinder. I remember way back, we use a lot of resources in this county to train enforcement officers, of which up to date, we have not considered them in this county. What are also your plan concerning the same? And these people, they were trained, they were not even given a certificate. They are waiting for a communication from the county. So as you answer also in terms of what Mheshimiwa has raised, what are the plans that you have for these other officers who are trained and they are there only in the village?
Honorable Anthony.
Thank you. Waziri and CEO, we are all aware that Public Service Board falls under PSN. Recently, we concluded, or you concluded, or the Public Service Board concluded the recruitment of workers. And there's an outcry from this end as an oversight body that we were not given the list of the employed workers. What is your take on the same? Because we should be able to know. We should be able to have particulars of each and every person who was employed by this county government, because it is our responsibility as an oversight institution to know.
Thank you. So that you can answer all, maybe the youths who are training Jepawan, it is very important for you, CC and CEO, to comment about it, since they are suffering and yet they are productive, and the resources from County Government of Kericho was used to train them. So kindly comment about them. Again, there is the issue of ward offices in areas where they don't have ward offices. You also have to comment about that. Again, when you talk about the enforcement officers, I remember there was a time when in Chepseon, the public mobilized themselves, and I'm happy because the area MC is around here, to collect revenue. And they were able to collect in a day what surpassed what is usually being collected on a daily basis. Meaning, you see the staff in your department are a resource to the county also. If you have people who are, if the budget for the staff is around 20 million, then they should not be collecting 20 million or less. It's like making a loss to the county. If you have a staff paying salary of 20 million, then they should be able to collect double what the salary is, what they are being paid. Because most of the time, where the enforcement officers are working is where you are chasing maybe little money from the mama mboga, from the markets and the rest. I don't know whether you also have people who are doing in a skillful way to collect money, for example, in SPBs, or on other sectors that maybe might not need force to collect money. So you can also comment about that, on how do you balance, so that are you giving them targets to achieve per market? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. I just want to comment on the issue of the enforcement officers. Currently, I want to confirm they are demotivated to a larger extent, but as a department, we are doing what is humanly possible to address their issues. We've been talking to them to appreciate the challenge we are facing. One, we all appreciate the requirement of the 35% wage bill limitation. And as has been mentioned by my CEO, is that maybe we will need to raise the revenue, and we will come to this house to request for funding so that we put them on permanent basis. Otherwise, currently they are demotivated, but we've been talking to them. They got demotivated, especially when they saw the newcomers coming in on permanent and pensionable. But we want to appreciate the work they are doing in beefing up the revenue department. They are giving a lot of support in as far as revenue generation is concerned. Whether they are being given targets, that one can well be explained by the Department of Finance. What I know, we've just loaned them to support in the enforcement. On the issue of Public Service Board not giving us in a transparent manner what they have been doing in the recent recruitment, I just want to say I'm sure they communicated to the relevant departments, the originating departments. In this case, Health Department, the Finance were given the list, Education, and the Governor's Office. So they were given the list. What I only don't want to confirm is whether they were supposed to give it to your August House also. What I know, it's an independent body altogether. Although they are domiciled in my department, PSM, they are autonomous. So I cannot give them instructions on how to go about in their duties. But I want to appreciate they gave the relevant department the reports for them to proceed and issue the letters. On the issue of ward offices, we are past 50% in as far as construction is concerned. And we had promised to build at least 2 every financial year. This is because of the financial limitation which we have as a department. But we are trying our level best.
Honorable Gilbert.
Chairman, allow me inquire from the CEO this thing on fire station in Leyte. Who paid the 5.3 million? Is it your tenure or you found it?
We found it, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. Yes, the file is there. It was paid in 2021-2022 financial year.
21-22.
Yes.
And then when did you resolve to do the valuation?
It was, I started from last year, December.
Okay, last year,
yes.
December.
Yes.
So even if we actually fail to have the contractor back to the site by any misunderstanding, which of course he might be aware that he is overpaid, we lost this money last regime, seemingly. Someone did something in which he knew without even valuing the work done and ordered the payment. I really wish you the very best as you really try to salvage that project because it is really required in Bureti sub-county. Many a times when there is an inferno, our things are getting panned beyond anything before this bigger machine comes from Kericho. We appreciate that we have that small one, but it's not serving the kind of a big fire, which is obvious, that can emanate in an area. So, CEO, please, see a way of salvaging that project. The sooner, the better. Even if it means taking someone to court, it is important because Chairman, I'm surprised the person who was manning this particular department, who was manning the project, is a guy who hails from Bureti, and he decided to do this reckless work to ensure the work is overpaid. I feel bad when someone is not having these regular residents at the heart. I wish you the very best as you really do that. As the chair said, please resolve. We need a way forward on it. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you have answered all the questions. Members, do you think there is still any pending question? If there is no pending question, we are coming to the end of our session. What I'm requesting from you, is maybe you submit us with those all documents that we requested as per the TOR.
Lastly, I forgot one, CEO. There is this team who are doing the business in Roret. I mean the market days, that is Monday and Thursday. You remember there is that slope area at the police station there. The other time we lost about seven people because of a lorry which lost control up there. And then I had requested that those people should be cleared at the way, not to do business at the road. And the sub-county administrator was saying he lacks the enforcement team. And you are the one to enforce. I request that you really check on that matter, because it is a timing bomb. It's like the case in Kapkeleg area, where people were chased out of the road and they came back. In fact, every Sunday, they are doing business at the roadside, just near the road, which is a very dangerous thing. We will end up losing people, and we've been seeing that one to be a danger which is waiting. Thank you.
Thank you. We are coming to the end of this session. What I'm requesting the department is to forward to us proper documentation as per our TOR by end of the day tomorrow, so that when we are compiling when we are doing our report, we will be able to capture the accurate figures that will show us how the status of pending bills are, plus the pending commitments that exist. Because we are about to start our budget making process, we want to proceed when we have clear pending bills and pending commitments. Otherwise, let me give CC maybe to make a final remark, then we end.
Thank you. I just want to appreciate your invitation and the support you've given us in as far as addressing these issues of pending bills is concerned. We are going to do our level best to bring them down. I know there could even be some other departments which have more pending bills than PSM, but I want to promise as a department we will continue bringing them down. We've been facing that challenge because of the budget issue, and I want to give it to my CEO. He wanted to mention something on the issue of IFMIS, just to comment on it.
Chair, maybe I just wanted to say on the documentation you require, on the aspect of the IMIS generated there's only one department that is allowed to, that is finance. So that's one you can get from finance. It provides all the payment details plus the contractor plus the amount that was paid.
We made a request to them.
Yes.
That's why we didn't indicate in your letter, but provide us with the information that we requested from you specifically. For the IFMIS, we have written to the relevant department.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for attending this session. You are free. We now usher in the office of the governor. Thank you very much. Welcome. I need the office of the governor, county secretary. You're welcome. Let me ask the legal officer to administer oath.
I, Kiruileni Kipyegon, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Now, let us introduce ourselves. Let me start with the members from my left.
Okay, I'm Gilbert Ngetich, Kimaros MCA Gishara Ward, member to the committee.
I'm Kipet Peter, MCA Kapsuserwa.
Secretariat.
I'm Sharon Mibe, Deputy Clerk, Legislative Services.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Diakon, Principal Lagas.
Thank you. I'm Mercy Chepkemoi, Internal Auditor.
Stephen Jeriat, Head of Budget.
Good afternoon. I'm Rose Mutai, the Principal Clerk.
Good afternoon. My name is Renis Chepngatich, PRO.
Kindly introduce your team and yourself. Thank you. My name is Vincent Korir. I'm the chairman of this ad hoc committee, and also I represent the great people of Londiani Ward. You are the last department today, and I hope all the documents were supplied to this committee. I see the department of the Office of the Governor, and I can see some documentations with us. Secretariat, kindly ensure that all the documents are available.
Mr. Chair, I do
Yes.
have some further documentation
You
that
can
will provide comprehensive report on what is requested today.
Please supply to the
and I wish
committee.
to supply to the Secretariat.
Thank you very much. Let me start by requesting you to update us on the status of pending bills for the last 3 years in your department.
Chair and honorable members, I have one of the documents that I have comprehensively enlisted all the pending bills, apart from the running years that could be shown there. I would really wish that maybe that could be supplied to the members so that as we look at it together, and the same is written as progress report on settlement of pending bills as at 30th May 2025. Maybe you could allow me to pause as I wait for that to be distributed. Unless guided otherwise, Chair.
Is it the Secretary kindly confirm to us whether the same documents that we have is the same that is being supplied so that we can proceed?
It's okay, your Chair, we can proceed.
Thank you. I think I've seen,
yes.
Can start with this one. Work done during financial year 2022-2023. Then we come to, this is the one for 2022-2023 again.
And 2024-2025. But, Chair, there was a comprehensive one on all the pending bills, because with the different years, we could be jumping from one date to another, but this is a comprehensive one from 2021, 2022, 2023, up to the present time. The last date is 30th of May 2025.
I can see the same document. Kindly.
Progress. A progress report. Yes. It could make it very easier for us, Chair.
Did you supply these documents on time? Because we didn't have in our files.
Actually, sorry to say, this
Because
is
there was
just
a deadline for the
Yes, I agree.
for you to give us the documents, and yet
Yes.
you see the committee is trying to sort out what should have been done before.
My kind apologies, but after I submitted the original, which has all these documents, I felt it was essential to make a comprehensive one that could run through the years, and that's the one I'm talking about, which means per se the same is submitted in a different format.
So are we, which document, are we going to use this document?
On the comprehensive, but
Yes.
we can as well look at the different years.
So what you need to do next time is kindly do a comprehensive report and submit to the committee so that when we are doing the interrogation, we'll have all the information in advance. So kindly supply this document to every member. Let's proceed. So we are on progress report on settlement of pending bills as of 30th May 2025.
Yes, sir.
This one, eh?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
Chair.
continue. Update the committee on the status.
Chair and honorable members, this progress report has about 23 items, that is to say, and that 23 items gives a list of all the suppliers as requested by this honorable committee. It also gives, it doesn't give the contractor name, but the contractor name, yes, but not in terms of person, which could be a company. It also gives in some positions the LPO and the LSO contract number. It gives the date of the LPO, LSO contract number, and the details of work performed. And then it gives the additions of the year, and it shows the outstanding pending bills amount as of 30th June 2024, and then amount paid as at 30th May 2025. And then it also lists the outstanding pending bills as at 31st December 2024. If the chair would wish me to proceed with the different suppliers or contractor names, I would proceed with them.
The document, because you see, when you say it is capturing, the invoice and it is capturing the details, the final details that you have mentioned, that it is capturing the LSO number and the companies. Maybe can you show the secretariat properly? Nixon, kindly show them the right document, so that when we are following, we are in the right page.
Sorry about that, Chair.
Let
Yes.
that has Barclay Enterprises Limited as the first one.
Yes.
Is it that one?
Yes, I need to have my copy so that I may be able to respond. But the chair can ask the question. I think I know.
You see, you supplied a lot of documents. It's not orderly. It's not okay. Can you take this one? Yeah. For the chair, kindly provide that document. I don't have that document, but proceed.
Our chair and honorable members. Number one is Barclay Enterprises Limited. The date of contract per se is 1st of June 2021, which is way long overdue. The outstanding amount as shown there is 2.819,900. Our chair, this shows that the total amount of 2.819,900 hasn't been paid. For the record, I joined the office hardly 1 year ago, but I've made efforts to inquire as to why this has not been paid. What I've been told off the record by the procurement officers is that besides the budgetary constraints and prevailing ceilings, this company has had issues with the directors. There was a serious feud between them, and that has constrained us from paying them. Because in a scenario where there is a dispute, it becomes very difficult to pay and so on. With your permission again, Chair and honorable members, if I may go to number 2, which is dated 2023-2024. That one was provision of conference services. That amount hasn't been paid. That was 2023-2024 because of budgetary constraints and a serious issue of prevailing ceilings. I'm also duly informed that with this one, there was an issue with the documentation. And that's why the same has not been paid. I stand guided, Chair, and that's why I was going piece by piece and one by one, enumerating.
But Chair, allow me to add on what the honorable member said. County Secretary, you can't tell us that there is a disagreement between the directors from 2021 up to now. I think whenever there is a disagreement, there is also an avenue of agreeing at that point. Unless that reason is not all that enough, because I'm sure when you call directors of a company trying to actually pay them and they are not understanding over the payment, I'm very sure that's not true, because people differ to agree at that point. There should be a clear reason why this amount is not paid up to this far. And when you say budgetary constraints, I've been sitting on the budget approval in this house, and I've never remembered a time when we touched an allocation for the office of the governor from the proposal you made from the executive. I don't remember one day. Where do the constraints then come from?
Secondly, you mentioned the second one, that you mentioned two reasons. One is the constraint of the budget. Secondly is issue with documentation. So which one is which now? If you have the money, will you pay? When as the documentation, or we go as by the documentation is the problem?
Yes, Chair, as I indicated before, and as I had indicated to the committee when I first made my answers, was that when I was supplied with this, I had to interrogate and understand why. Even before we were requested to provide, I had to interrogate and try to understand why these payments has not been done all along. Because if you may look at that, it's actually disheartening to see that this has been since 2021. So in as much as a disagreement between parties could not be a good reason, but that is what the department cited as the reason. I have sat as a CEO in the department, and I have not heard anybody from this department come and talk to me about it, because usually I like doing things expeditiously. I don't really wish to keep somebody because I know it involves a lot of family, concerns. So, number one, I have no other reason other than what, because I would want to say something to go on the record that I was not advised on or instructed on. Or number two, the main reason actually is the budgetary allocation. And you see, as compared to number one, that is for the year 2023-24, which is relatively a newer or more recent than number one.
You see, because you see, pending bill should be fast charge. And I've seen there are pending bills from the year 2022. There is also a pending bill for, did I see 2021? I see one that's for some time back. 2023, 2022, and one is 2021 that you say there is a conflict. But you see, I've also seen the recent ones.
Yes.
For 2024, 2024 and 2023, 2024, and it seems to have been paid. How can you say that? Because is there any preference to some companies in terms of payment? Yet others who did work a long time ago have been set aside. And again, when you talk about budgetary constraints, the way my colleague Honorable Gilbert has said, is we have never had that there is any deficit, because we normally allocate enough resources to all departments, especially the office of the governor. So kindly, you can elaborate what causes budget constraints. Is it that there's no money, or what is happening? Do we budget for something that does not exist? And where do you expect to get the money in the long run? So can you kindly respond to that?
Yes, I'll give a very good example. Like there was a, before, that is in June 2023, apparently there was Mashujaa Day, there was Mashujaa celebrations. This was something that suddenly came that had to be taken care of by the Executive Office of the Governor. And the budget then was 5.5 million. You see, this new item that was not appropriated before, and that was from the national government, that had to be done together jointly with the county government. That was in 2023. And that one was bound to affect the ceiling. The ceiling is rigid unless honorable members extends it, raises it, or approves an extension. So that is one example in 2023 that I
You're
did.
talking about the national government event.
Yes.
But now the national government normally have their own budget when they are going to do events in counties or anywhere. I don't think we are the ones who are hosting them. I think they have their own sufficient budget, in fact, which is more than what the county have. So how do you supplement the national government when they have enough? If, in fact, they were able to do our studying for us. They were able to do tarmacking of the roads and so many things. How did we chip in, yet it was a national government event?
That is true, honorable member. But if we were to see one of the faults that we do have, we have the hospitality, supplies, and services. In that fault, one of the last, if we were to check, one of the items that we have to take care of is national celebrations. In as much as, and then the budget was not good enough to gather for this profession. So you see, in as much as the national government gathers for the national holidays, the county as well is required to put in, give their hand and help in the national celebrations.
But when you talk of national celebrations, it's not the one that we did Madaraka Day that happened here. The other, like last week, we had a national celebration within the county, which maybe you could have budgeted for because it doesn't require a lot of money. But I think you are talking about the last year, 2023, when we had a big celebration here.
Correct, absolutely.
That one was being conducted fully because it was being held here. It should have been conducted fully by the national government because the president was coming here. So I don't think you could say you spent a lot of money, yet it was a national event for the whole country being done in Kericho.
Okay, to the best of my understanding and knowledge and information, that was spent on during that Mashujaa Day.
Can you break down on what was spent and how it was spent?
The figures that was given to me about that national celebration was 5.5.
Spend on what specifically? Because you can describe that this was spent on, can break down. Again, you see there are procurement roles. There's a way you procure for anything. For example, even if it is a tent, it's advertised, it's standard, there's a procurement procedure.
Yes, usually we do make provisions for tents. We do make provisions for, it's actually hospitality that includes all the food items, that will include all the entourage that was lodged on that day. And then we also pay, it is also paid for other people who attend, like performers, like performers and stuff like that.
The chair is asking
Yes.
you to give us the breakdown for every activity and the allocation that was given to every activity during that particular time.
With your permission, Chair and members, since I don't have that clear breakdown now, I can make an undertaking to provide. It's very easy. I'll make a provision or an undertaking to provide because I don't have the breakdown. But overhead, I know what usually is done.
Is it a pending bill?
Yeah, no, I was giving that as an example.
But because if 5 million was captured, was it paid?
It's not shown here as a pending bill, but I was showing so as to prove the fact that there is budgetary constraints. It's not a pending bill.
Or meaning you want to say money in another budget line was utilized in a different budget line, robbing the money from another vote, so that you can be able to do something that was not expected, is it?
No, usually when that happens, we come with a supplementary budget to cover for that.
Maybe you can still explain to us about that 5 million, but because I have not seen captured here.
Yes, not.
but you have mentioned it is important also for us to understand. But kindly, in summary, we would like you to give us the pending bills from your department, all the pending bills, and the reasons why the others have not been paid for the last 3 financial years, yet there is budget that has been allocated to your department every financial year.
Maybe Chair, County Secretary is proving to this House that money which was appropriated for other things, during the Mashujaa Day, you diverted the budget and used somewhere else, or things which were not budgeted for. So that, how did you attain budget constraint? Which means you use the money on things which was not budgeted for. Is that right?
No, it's not right. It's not that it's not used for what is not budgeted for. But
No,
consider
during the budget process,
yes,
we receive your appropriation
yes,
from your
budget-
side.
Yes.
What you had appropriated for. Now, when this event came, now there are some other things that came in which was not factored in during the appropriation. Is that what you mean?
Apparently, that could be the case, but also considering that we had to do a supplementary budget to gather for that. So it was gathered for, and that's why we don't have a pending bill on that item.
Yes, but you are citing something very sensitive that during the Mashujaa Day, you had to do some other events which generate to the constraint on budget, which means you hit your ceiling before because of the Mashujaa Day. Is that right?
That's true.
Yes, then which means you factored in some other things on the budget which was not appropriated for. So it is very important also because you prioritize other things which was not budgeted for. So that is why Chairman is asking for the details or exactly about 5.5 million, how it was spent during the Mashujaa Day.
Yes. And we...
When was the supplementary budget done? Was it after Mashujaa or before? Just for clarity.
Supplementary budget comes after.
No, I'm talking about the two, specifically during Mashujaa. Was it after or before?
You know, Chair, I wasn't there then, but I know usually
The reason why I'm
supplementary-
asking so,
Yes, yes.
I'm just trying to
I
give a
understand.
pick to
I
my
understand.
brother
Yes.
that if you used the funds which were available to cater for in Mashujaa, and after Mashujaa, maybe supplementary was done, and the same amount was captured during supplementary. So meaning that when that money was returned during supplementary, then there's no reason why you say you had financial constraints for non-payment of works done.
Chairman, that was one example of what leads to budgetary constraints. Apart from other factors that as well leads to budgetary constraints. I was honestly giving that as an example.
You know, when you are citing an example, it means also the reality.
Yes.
You are just using it as an example, but the reality is there.
Yes, it's a fact.
Yes. So it means that you enter into these pending bills because the genesis of it is because of the Mashujade.
It would be unfair for me to make that generalization, because as I said, Chair, that there are several others. I use that as one example. I use that as one example.
I think there is something that I'm getting from you.
Yes.
That there are things you do that are not in the budget.
No.
Because one, you say what you spend during Mashujade was something that came up and was not in the budget, and you have utilized that money to do that event that came up during Mashujade, and that is why these other companies are not able to get payments, is because the resources that were meant maybe to spend on others have already been used to cover up upcoming events like the Mashujade. Meaning you have utilized the money from other votes to pay for an event that came up which you unforeseen, for example. But when you given us the case of Mashujade, then I know it's squarely lied with the national government, where they have a huge budget for that day, because the event actually was for the national government purely within Kericho County. I know we normally have national holidays that maybe the president doesn't attend, where we have, like even the last 2 weeks we had, is it Madaraka Day, 1st June. That one maybe we lie within national government because we have national government attending and the county government. So this one for Mashujade, you want to say it took or it entered into the budget of another maybe line. For example, if there was a supply of this one that you have not paid, it's because of budgetary constraint, because you have overspent somewhere else.
Can I answer that question? For example, if I may give an example, Chair, if you see 2022-2023, under hospitality supplies and services, if you see the provision and then, that is number 2210803, on national celebrations was only 800,000. If you flip over to 22, financial year 22-2023, so the provision at then was only 800,000, but on supplementary budget, the same was increased to 14,800,000. Now, though from the records it's very clear that at then, that is 2023, that increment of national celebrations, there was a request to the honorable members, to the assembly, that they raise the same to 14,800,000. That is on the figures that I have provided. And definitely, this could not have touched on any other item or use of any other money on that particular item or that particular occasion. As to whether that was done before or after the Mashujade, I've not figured out the dates very clearly, but you see, the provision at then was only a meager or a minimal amount of that figure which I have quoted, honorable members.
Let me inquire from the county secretary. There is a direction or an order from the controller of budget that first charge in each and every department is the pending bill. Now, in this office of the governor budget, do you consider that?
Yes, unless there is an issue of documentation.
Never proceed. You say yes, you are there to the direction of controller of budget.
Yes.
That you make your first charge to be the pending bill.
Yes.
Now, when you say there is this Mashujade, I remember supplementary budget was done before Mashujade. because there was some request made by the governor, which of course the money for that function was there. I'm sure you had another allocation, not that money alone for Mashujaa Day. Why didn't you decide to really pay some pending bills now by adhering to what the control of budget requires? Why did you take that you are supposed to really sacrifice each and every payment for you to confine to the Mashujaa Day celebration? Or was it an order? Or you were given orders also to do that? Because seemingly, when you really tell us you don't pay the pending bills because of the Mashujaa Day, it means that direction of the control of budget is not adhered to in some quarters in this county, is that?
Chair and honorable members, the executive office of the governor adheres to the prescription by the...
Great contradiction, yes.
Yes.
You are telling us the reason as to why you didn't pay some bills is because of the budget constraints. But you could accept what you had to really do the celebration.
I was heading there to answer your question, honorable member. Yes. As I said, honorable members, chair and honorable members, we follow what the control of budgets do prescribe, as it is, since it is a must. But in a situation, we must pay, we call it fast in, fast out. In as much as we follow, there will always be other constraints, maybe documentation. And that's why I've also listed here that sometimes an entity has not given the full documentation, though, or has not received the full documentation, despite the fact that work has been done. So in a scenario like that, or there's a conflict as I raised before, in such a scenario, it will not be possible to follow that order, though we follow the order. So we will reach that line and check whether every document is ready at then. And then we make payment when it is ready.
CS, through the chair. Mashujaa is usually celebrated on 20th October every year. But when you look immediately after Mashujaa, I'm just trying to qualify the reason why we cannot agree with you to say that Mashujaa, the celebration of Mashujaa, affected your budget. From immediately after Mashujaa, you did several payments from number 9 up to number 10. That is where you did a lot in several payments. And all the way up to number 22. Meaning that Mashujaa never made you not to pay those people who have given you services.
Chair and honorable members, in as much as Mashujaa came in, there are also other activities that took place. Mashujaa did not become the only... Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All those emerging events, activities, you could have captured them. You know you have given yourself a lot of work, and also you have given a lot of work to us. If you could have indicated reasons for non-payment, in fact, the whole exercise would have been very simple.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And also, yes.
Yes.
It's not good to use an example which didn't hinder you to make some payment for the same year. And if it was factored in the mother budget or in the supplementary budget, and citing such an example to prevent or to defend the constraint not making payments doesn't sound good. Because unless otherwise you have a hidden information concerning the Mashujaa Day. Because this is something that came from you. But for example, the Mashujaa Day. So, in fact, we are aware that we hosted the Mashujaa Day. And if you are using that one to defend why you have a lot of pending bills, why have you not paid the service providers, it doesn't sound that good, because we could be blaming the national government and even the county government and taking the advantage for not making payment. And in any case, when you say there is no proper documentation, CS recently, His Excellency the Governor pronounced himself that if you don't have a proper documentation, then there is no need to do even the work. If you have not been provided with the award letter and the LSO, the former, the CEO was here from PISA, says that when you have the LSO, it is like payment has been done. So where will it be now when you say, unless the service provider doesn't have the proper documentation? Because before you give out works, you should have, before I give out my services, I should have given out the documentation first of all. So maybe you give us enough reason, or we are taking the reason of Mashujaa Day that have become a problem in your department to make payments and to have these huge pending bills.
In fact, Chair, as I indicated before, I had said that was an example, and as guided by the honorable member, that may not be a good example. But what I also know for a fact is one of the other reasons that was was the budgetary constraints. I was giving various reasons for that. Another reason is the budgetary constraints and prevailing ceilings. So these others were not paid not because of Mashujaa only. No, I could be lying if I say that.
CS.
Yes.
You know, when you talk of budgetary constraint, we are preparing for the budget now. It is you who is giving out proposals on what you are supposed to do for the full financial year.
Yes.
Now, unless there are some other things that you want to confirm to us, that there are some other things that you are doing outside the appropriation you made when the budget process is being done, unless that you want to confirm to us. Because when you talk of budgetary constraint, it doesn't sound. Because in any financial year, you give out what you want to do.
Thank you. I think maybe what I also want to get further information is, do you have a procurement plan in your department for those activities that you want to undertake across the year?
Yes, we have a three-year period procurement plan that has been presented by the Director of Procurement.
Do you stick to it?
Yes, we do.
Now, you see, if you have a procurement plan, then it should be mapped to a budget. and already we normally pass a budget here. The issue of financial constraint, this is the term that I am hearing for the first time. I have not heard in other departments, because maybe that is where we could have interrogated and understand that maybe there are budget constraints. But this is the first time getting to know why there is budget constraint in your department. That is why maybe we'll have to do further clarification from you, demonstrate to us, maybe from the evidence of documentation from even from controller of budget, so that we can be able to know why there is a budget constraint in the department, in office of the governor. Again, when we were interrogating PSM, there is a claim by the Contractors Association through PSM now, not through office of the governor, that there was an issue where they were doing something on Madaraka Day in the year 2022-2023, worth 1.3 million, and it is fully documented. So was Madaraka Day being contacted through your office or through several departments? Mashujaa, was it being done through your office or from even PSM and other departments? And what was it specifically that was being done? Because it is saying, office, it is placing it on PSM, but say Mashujaa Day, it's a general word, and it has full documentation. Maybe we can comment on that. And then again, to combine, the Contractors Association provides us with a pending bill from around 5 contractors worth around 15 million. Some have partly documents, and one is fully documented. I don't know whether you have that document from the Contractors Association. Maybe you can have it so that you can comment, look at it first, and then you can comment about it.
Can I go ahead and comment?
Yes.
Before I comment, if you may allow me, Chair, I'd say there are other reasons as to why there's this huge pending bill. Apart from what I mentioned, there's also maintenance of vehicles. There's also allowances for our security officers. We have about 12 of them, which actually has raised which has raised this pending bill. Now, if I may comment on the pending bills for Department of Governor's Office, Kericho, that was given. I can see, if I go from 1 to number 5, the supply of sanitary materials. In fact, the report is self-explanatory. It says the partly documented, and it supports my statement before that some have not provided full documentation. If you see number 1, it says partly documented. Number 2, without saying the name, we have the company. The same still says partly documented. So all of them, up to the last one, Barclay Enterprises, which is fully documented, but the Barclay Enterprises was number 1 in our list, which I mentioned before, that they had disputes between the directors. So you see, this document itself supports our assertion that some claims are not fully documented. In fact, I didn't know about this document, but it fully supports. The only claim here of Barclays Enterprises, which is fully documented, and for the Executive Office of the Governor, which is the same figure as we gave, that is 2.819900, which is correct. We confirm that, says that the documents are The documents, they were full documentation. But the information I have, to the best of my knowledge and information, is that the same had issues, and that was the first thing I raised when I made my response.
So you have confirmed that the three actually exist?
Your chair and honorable members, I confirm number 5, but unless I look back to the records and confirm these matters, I may not want to put on record that I confirm. But from the look of it, if they are there, and I have no reason to doubt, but certainly I may not be able to confirm unless I look at the records, is that these are companies that are not fully documented. And that could be the main reason why they have not been paid.
But are you familiar with these companies?
I have talked with the owner of MEF, and from what I knew is that MEF had an issue with ICT. In fact, I've been trying to solve that issue for the last about 1 or 2 months.
Allow me inquire, Chair. You have told us that you do not know any other pending bill which is not listed, Secretary. Now you are going on to tell us that you've talked with MEF system. What was your concern?
My concern with MEF was that it was not clear as to whether it belongs to the Executive Office of the Governor or it belonged to ICT. Because I have talked to the CEO, ICT, and he has repeatedly told me that he's going to make payment for the same. I have also talked to the gentleman, and to the best of my knowledge, he only needed me to assist him about the payment. I even have his contact. So, but I'm not about to dispute, because I don't know how many different jobs he has done. But from the name, if that is the one I was discussing with him, then there is an issue with ICT. But if it is exclusively for the Executive Office of the Governor, then that has not been brought to my attention.
Because you see, the description here is Governor's automobile PA fabrication, mounting and installation. And the other one is Office of the Governor events, not clearly stated. So it means it must have been handling, and you see this document is directed to Office of the Governor, not ICT. So unless tomorrow, because we will be having ICT, I'll note somewhere so that it can also help me. You have given me more information on how I can follow up on the same.
It's okay, Chairman.
Yes, but
because
what we need in this committee, to be very clear, is breakdown of the pending bills. We would also like you to tell us, okay, apart from the budgetary, you have talked about budgetary, but I have seen you are paying the latest jobs, and then you are leaving jobs that were done maybe previous year, like 2023 and 2022. So you can tell us the clear thing that what is it that is causing pending bills, and why is it taking time to pay those people who have offered service before others. Maybe some I saw offering services in the financial year of 2023, 2024, which is latest, and have been paid. Again, what will you do now to avoid these pending bills in your department? Because there must be a solution for this issue of pending bills to be sorted once and for all. And we would also like you to demonstrate to us if you have pending commitments, because we are about to end the financial year. It's only around in few weeks. We are ending the financial year, and we need next year to have pending bills. I wish if Honorable, do you have any question, member? Do you have any issue?
Just a minute, Chair. As per, there's a lot of documents here.
Yes.
That the CS has given us, but he has put us in a mix, because there is a lot of services from various hotels, way back, that is 2022, 2023. This one for ACK. Now, when you look at this one you are going through,
Yes.
the outstanding balance or pending bills to date is 24,490,377. Am I right?
Sorry, Chair, but from my record, the PP, that is the progress report, the amount of 24,490,377 was the outstanding amount or the pending bill as at 30th June 2024. Now, as at outstanding bill as at let me look at the figures clearly. Amount paid as at 30th May 2025 is 12,989,609. That is the position.
As at 30th June 2024.
That is from my records as at 30th May 2025. That is now the amount of 12,989,609. That was as at 31st December 2024. Way after 30th June 2024. Apparently, the person who wrote this mixed the dates. He should have pushed the 30th May to the far end so as to avoid confusion.
CS.
Yes, sir.
The figure you are giving us for 12,989,609, that is the outstanding balance.
Sorry?
Or?
That is, if you look at the graph, that is for 30th of May 2025, last month.
The outstanding balance is how much?
12,989,609.
But as by your column, it says amount paid. Amount paid. These are the amount
paid. Sorry.
These are the amount.
Sorry. My apologies.
Yes.
My apologies. That is the amount paid. Sorry, my kind apologies. It's actually the outstanding bill to date. Sorry, I want to make that correction. Is 11.5. Yes, sorry about that.
So you still have now pending commitments?
Chair and honorable members, if I may comment on the pending commitments which has not been shown to you, pending commitments, their documents are still being worked on or prepared. If all the documentation was ready, then this could have been put as pending bills. But when full documentation, as some are anyway here, have not been finalized and commitments, then we're still working on it.
So, CS. In fact, we are deliberating upon pending bills for some specific financial years.
Yes.
How about before these financial years in question, down there? As a department, did you have or do you have pending bills that are not captured here?
Chair and honorable members, the progress report on settlement of pending bills as at 30th May captures all.
All of them?
Yes, that is why.
Even 2016, 2017, 16, 17?
I will not be able to comment on 2016 because I don't have the records.
Yes. Apart from the financial years in question, about before these years?
Absolutely,
financial years.
Absolutely, Chair. I agree with member, because if you see Barclay Enterprises, it was for 2021, which was not mentioned in your request of binding bills. You see, 2021.
About before 2021, other financial years. That was
I don't have those records, but I'm very sure if there
so
was.
meaning that you have a clean bill.
I may not expressly say that, neither will I say there is any, but my position is.
Prudent.
Eh?
It is also prudent for you to know.
Yes.
Because if people provided services,
yes,
and they were never paid, and that one be ignored, sure.
No, Chair.
So that one, okay, you have a homework. So you should also find out if there are pending bills
And commitments.
and commitments. The last one in chair, allow me.
I take your direction.
LSO.
Yes.
Does an LSO has a number?
From what I'm seeing on my records, yes.
But there are some columns or spaces that you left without capturing
The LSO numbers.
the numbers of LSOs.
I agree.
Don't you see that it is a critical omission?
It's a serious one.
Very good.
So with your permission, I can capture those LSO numbers. But maybe the issue of consolation is the fact that we have the companies. And from what I know about companies, no two companies can exist with one same name in a jurisdiction. That's what I know. But with your guidance and direction, we can endeavor to provide the LSO and LPO numbers.
The dates
Yes.
when the services were provided.
Yeah, I'm even more convinced though. I'm more convinced because it has dates, and you cannot have dates without an LSO. Yes, you cannot have dates without an LSO.
Okay, another one is, we have confirmed that as per your records, we have given you also a list of Association of Contractors claiming of 15,510,000. If you confirm this is true, because you'll say you are going to confirm, which means you'll be having a pending bill of close to 26 million. Is that right?
The figures will be right, Chair and honorable members. The figures could be right on confirmation, if we were to confirm. But you see, Chair, at the moment, that is not confirmed. And as I had explained before, because, Chair, I don't know whether you have taken out the 2.819 million 900 that is already contained in our progress report, and that could lessen the amount. I would check it up with all these others to know where exactly and the reasons as to why the same had not been met. I have the benefit of having the list with me, but it will not amount to the total figure that you have said. It will be less. If the first item, the second item, the third item, the fourth item is confirmed, though I have a lot of reservations about it because I've had the benefit of interacting with some of the persons here, and I know where they were asking it from. But assuming that that is a different job other than the one they were telling me, then it will be confirmed.
Let me ask you,
Yes.
you work with the office of the governor.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Is there an automobile that has been fixed which has been installed, a Land Rover? How was it installed and who installed it?
Chair, let me get the question.
Can we be able to get details on how that is, the PA system in that Land Rover was installed? Who installed it? How was it procured?
If it's about a Land Rover, Chair and honorable members, I have not seen a Land Rover in the executive office of the governor. What I have seen is Land Cruiser and other vehicles. But if it is specifically a Land Rover, that has not been brought to my attention.
Is there a Land Cruiser?
There's a Land Cruiser.
Has it been installed with the PS system? And how was it installed and who installed it?
The installation that I know about the Land Cruiser is about repairs that were being done to the engine and not the PA system. But I would suppose there was a time the PA system was done. But what I know is that what I've been handling is not about the PA. I've been handling about the engine. The vehicle itself is old. It was used both in 91 or 99. Somewhere there. So
was there any fabrication and mounting of the PA system and electrical work, even if it is old?
Chair, what I indicated was I may not be in a position to talk about the PA system when it was done and about the procurement procedures and all that, how that was done. To the best of my knowledge, I knew was about the engine that had literally almost collapsed. And that's why I was saying in the what has actually raised the bending bill is the issue again of motor vehicles repairs. I don't know what I'm allowed to say about how old these vehicles are, but even citing the 1999 vehicle, and we'll be requesting the Honorable House to consider this, that is an old vehicle, so that the expenses incurred in repairs often goes above. So that is one of the problems that we do have, because running cost, repair cost, not even running, but repair costs have really skyrocketed. So we'll be requesting the Honorable House to help us with it.
Have you ever made a request, apart from us asking today? Have you ever made any request to have
Honorable Chair, yes.
to have been considered?
Honorable Chair, I was waiting for the closing remark so that I may make that request.
No, Chairman. No, the request you wanted to make here is not a request that will yield to your requirement. The request we are asking is the budgetary request. You made the budgetary request for the vehicle? If yes, we will find it there when we are crossing that bridge. Now, there is this budget constraints. Is there an enhancement of the budgetary allocation for that department, if at all you could not run with the appropriated funds last financial year?
And again, when we talk about the budget for motor vehicle expenses and maintenance, I saw there was an allocation of 2.9, and in supplementary, it was even added to 3.28. So, in fact, it has been enhanced somehow. So you cannot make a request on where already there is an increased allocation.
Chair and honorable members, if I may take you back with your kind permission to the 22-23 budget provision for 2022-23. There was a budget of 124,301,145 shillings. But after the supplementary budget, that was raised to 157. In the following year, the budget that was provided was 137,51,345. After the supplementary budget, that was slashed to 134,096 and 145 cents. If I may again take you, that was for the year 2023-2024, and in the 2024-2025, the budget that was given to us was 149,275, 697. We requested the supplementary budget, the same, to be raised by 100 to 161,256 and 392. Now, this variance and request for increment is informed by the fact that we do have also these vehicles as one of the items that there's been a big guzzler of the budget. And we were requesting also in this. And I'm also aware we made a request to County Budget Policy Framework, that is CBBF, to consider, because their advice was there is some sense of elasticity regarding the budget. It can be increased, it can be ballooned, or not ballooned, but increased depending on the needs assessment. So we were requesting, and we'll be requesting again this Honorable House, upon presentation of the needs, that we do consider raising, if possible, because they told me it's about 10% to 15% increment elasticity that can be raised. So if we could hit the ceiling and consider taking care of this, then I would conclusively say that the pending bills will be taken care of.
Let me ask you,
yes,
maybe if you still have a question? Okay.
Yes.
To see to it that they are paid.
Yes, and I would give a chair and the honorable members. I have considered in my brief stint at the office that the best that we can do is to do a fast in, fast out. And that could be fair, equitable, and just. Because if we do pay the first person who did, then everybody will feel satisfied. Now, the only challenges, and as I pointed to the court, to this honorable house, is that, or committee, is that when there is no certainty, there is no proper documentation, that actually affects our payment. But are more than really, yes.
For example, those ones who have got problems in the side of documents, have you ever told them to submit what is required?
Honorable Chair and members.
And if you have done so,
yes.
Which companies are these? That you have already talked with them and you have told them to give you what is required. And you'll be able to mention some of the companies,
Chair,
or the owners of those companies.
Chair and members, like I mentioned, the company that had been brought to my attention, that was Parkley, and I've had the benefit of talking with him, and I'm more than willing to help.
Apart from that, Weston?
Weston, let me see. To be honest, I have not had an interaction with Weston.
Yeah, but you mentioned that the reason why Weston has not been paid
is documentation.
Is because of budgetary constraints.
And documentation, yes.
And documents also?
Yes.
But you should also be able to contact them.
I take
so
your
that
advice.
They can be able to be paid.
I take your advice and direction.
Thank you, sir.
Honorable member.
When you talk about documentation, do somebody take up a job first and then come for documents later, or there's which document could be missing when you say documentation?
You know, the whole, I call it a process. From the very initial point of awarding somebody, giving somebody these documents, we must have the LSO and all. Let me look at it. Now, it's a process so that, yeah, we may have the LSO that shows that there is a contract already, and that's binding. But each and every company has different documents that could be missing. Unless I look back at those companies that have not satisfied the documentation, so that I may be able to give to this honorable house or committee that these are the documents that are missing in these companies.
But you said you have budget constraint. But now you cannot produce an LSO if you don't have resources to implement work. So how then is it that you have budget constraint yet you understand that you have to do what is within the budget? You cannot over-procure or do works that are not listed or that are not within the plan.
I agree, Chair and honorable members. In as much as, you see, this is also our challenge. When you ask a company to provide documentation and they don't provide documentation, there's some other activities that continue. The government is a running concern. The government, I don't want to sound way a bit off, but the government will wait for you in as much as it can wait, but it will also proceed with other activities. So you see, as at the time when you are required to provide and you don't have, the government continues until the point when you provide.
What I can only comment is it is a clear line in terms of procurement process. There is advertisement if it is an open tender. If it is an RFQ, there is a process. If you have listed companies that are pre-qualified, there is a process. So in terms of documentation, I think it starts from how you pre-qualify the companies that meet what you want to do. For example, those that are doing catering services must be listed somewhere, because maybe you have done your assessments behind the scenes. So what documents, is it from them again that you require documents? Because if I want to be paid, why do I delay? Because it's not a development. You are not constructing a house. It's only a service that is being provided. So if I want me to be paid, what else? It's only invoice, which I need, because I need to invoice you and then you pay me. So I do have to delay paying me, yet I have provided the service. And for any supplier, do you think there is any supplier who will delay with a document and yet they need money? They have offered a service. So kindly explain to us, is it that there are people who are preferred so that maybe you're paying fast? Because we have seen, it is well elaborated in your documents, that companies that maybe did services in the year 2024 have been paid, and there are some that were left out. So you can clarify to us that, because we want to, and again, let me ask a question. Is there any instance where a contract is given verbally? Maybe you give it just, there's a contract, come and take tomorrow. Because there's a record somewhere, I cannot mention where, which has been captured, and it is in this house, that a contract was dished verbally. Is there any instance like that? So let me give Honorable, let me give only chance to 2 members, then we can wind up. And then I give the chance, you respond, and then we wind up.
Thank you, Chair. There is something that I wanted clarification from the CS concerning the progress report you gave us. There is this column that you stated outstanding pending bills amounts as of 30th June 2024. The last column also, outstanding pending bills as at 31st December 2024. You are using the same year 2024. The question is, have you not made any payment since 1st January 2025 to date? Number 2, why did you give us these 2 columns reading the same year instead of coming only up to 31st December and give us the real figure? Last comment, please provide us, you are giving us item by item the reason why you have not made any payment. Please provide for us another copy through the chair that this company provide these services as per you have indicated, and the reason why you have not make the payment. Thank you.
Honorable Anthony, then we can wind up.
In addition to what my brother Kemboy, Honorable Kemboy said, since you came to the office, have you never been bothered by these companies concerning non-payments? Because at the end of the day, if I have given all the services and I have not been paid, I should always frequent your office to demand to demand for payment for the services that I provided. So my question is, since you came to the office, have you been bothered by these people as far as their payments are concerned?
Respond, and then we can wind up.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honorable members. I may start with the question on contract given verbally. Let me talk about myself as the CEO or anybody within my department. That has not been done because definitely I know the implications of that legally, and that could not be done. I'm not aware of any. If there is any that has been given, I would wish to know. Secondly, about any payment between 2024, that's the date of June, and 31st December 2024, if you may look at the progress report, if you see number 2, Western Hotel, the outstanding amount as of 30th June 2024 was 1 million. On 30th of May 2025, the same amount had been paid. I don't know the dates exactly when that was paid. Again, on item number 5, on JRO Limited, the outstanding amount as of 30th June 2024 was 378,931. Amount paid as at 30th May 2025 was 378,931. So conclusively, and without going through all of them, a sizable amount was paid as at the 30th of May 2025. The amount that are on the right, that is 31st May 2024, were the amount that were carried over as unpaid. Yes.
Could you please agree, please clearly, as far as Western is concerned? You mentioned that there was some payment.
You see, Western, as by my records, it was about provision of conference service. And that one arose on the in the year 2023. They gave an invoice number 567. That is Western Hotel. Sorry, I talked about a different. I talked about Empolos. About Western Hotel, that was not paid. Sorry, take off the record that. Sorry, but Empolos is the one that was paid 1 million. Yes, I'm sorry about that. You might remove my glasses. I'm sorry. So Empolos was paid 1 million, and there's also Exotic that has not been paid. There is a JRO Limited that was paid. So a number of suppliers or contractors were paid. Some again were not paid. Number 3.
CS.
Yes.
There is now something which is coming up here. I don't know if you own this document because outstanding pending bills as per 30th June 2024. Now, you are coming in with amount paid as at 30th May 2025. And the current balance we are talking about at the extreme end. At the extreme end is as at 30th December 2024. Which one now proves the actual balance. Because if there are some payment that you have made or made up to May 2025, and the records, the balance that we are talking about to be the actual balance is dating 31st December 2024.
Honorable Chair and honorable members, as I had stated before, the maker of the document, which is presumably me, interchanged the years, and that is where it is. Because what I wanted to have done was, as by 30th of June 2024, the outstanding pending bill was that amount as given. And then as of December 2024, the outstanding, which is a period of about 6 months, amount was this. But as of 30th May, which was the last few weeks, this amount has been paid. Unless I didn't get the questions clearly, Chair.
Now, when you are saying the real balance, the actual balance, the pending bills that you have, on the second page, we prove that to be 11,500,768. The 12 million is the total amount that you have paid so far, as per your column.
And Honorable Chair and members, we corrected that to mean it is actually 12 million, and that's where I was requesting that we subtract for Barclay. It's actually 12 million. That's what we corrected later, because the honorable members pointed out to me that I had not gotten it clearly.
The difference is that,
yes,
the 11,500,760
yes,
is as at
31st December. Correct.
So we don't have the actual balance now to date, because the other column shows the amount that you have paid.
Outstanding pending bills as the 31st. But Chair and honorable members, that is really clear. It's me who's getting confused there, but it's the amount. Sorry about that. It's about 11.5 million, sorry. That was for 31st December. I think there's an issue with dates. That is where the problem is.
That is why I'm asking.
Yes.
When you say amount paid as at 30th May,
yes,
2025,
I get you.
and you are giving us the final balance
I get
as at 31st December 2024, which means it's not in order.
I think I'll correct this document and send it back to you. There's a variation on dates that would correct the amount. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that guidance. I appreciate it.
Chairman, lastly, as I inquire, there is this spending bill list that was given to us by the department, by the Association of Contractors. Hope you've seen. Let's start by the first one. As our county secretary, do you own this particular pending bill or you don't own?
Chair, if I say I own or I don't, it would be what I only responded before was, I want to...
Chairman, I don't require any narrations. I dare with the question, County Secretary. Do you own or you do not own? Because you didn't give us this information. It came through the Association of Contractors.
Chair and honorable members, I know honorable member wants me to say yes, I own, or no,
That is the answer. That is the answer for such a question, yes or no.
If I say yes, Without
say no if you don't want to say yes.
No, that still would be an overstretch on my
Are you telling us that the information you are providing to us is not accurate? Because you should be having your real list, whereby whenever there is an additional list, you condemn. Why do you want to be lukewarm? Just tell us straight that you don't own this, because you say what you have is this number 4. I think you've said that. You have the number 4. You don't have number 3. You don't have number 2. You don't have number 1. Is that?
Yeah.
Meaning you don't own. Or if you want to own, tell us you will own by doing what and what.
Oh yes, I stand guided, Honorable Chairman and Honorable Members. Upon verification of the same.
You will go and verify?
Yes, I have
to. Allow the chairman to go and verify and then give us the information.
And I appreciate.
In this case,
yes.
Let's talk of this number 3. This is number. Is it number 3?
Yes.
The one that it says Office of the Governor that is, that supplied or they did some work worth 6 million. I believe open tender is normally tendered when it is worth how much? About 5 million.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to tell me even that one for 6 million, which maybe might have been done in through open tender, will you still own it or disown it? Because 6 million means an open tender as per procurement procedures.
Chair, to the best of my knowledge, this documentation on this service has not been presented. But as I informed the Honorable,
because you should have seen an advert somewhere.
I agree. I fully agree, and that lends credence to my allegation before that this doesn't belong to the Executive Office of the Governor. But I don't want to discredit. I want to confirm, as I indicated to the Honorable Member who asked the question before. But also I have the benefit of having talked with the persons concerned. And if, unless it is a different company, other than the one the member was telling me, unless it is a different company, the one I know doesn't belong to the Office of the Governor.
You also have,
but I'll follow.
You also have contacts there. It has been displayed. You see, somebody will not display their contacts in a document, just like that, on the company and the figure. Anyway, we will also do our own background checks to verify that. But kindly, make sure you don't lie to this committee.
No.
Present facts and be factual. Because we don't want later on you tell us, oh, I knew because, oh, okay, because somebody somewhere will not sit and come to this house, present a document in this house, and say, I owe, the county government owes me 6 million. This 6 million is not little money.
Mm-hmm.
And again, 6 million, it is money that anyone who does business will want to get. And that's why sometimes they say from 5 million and above, it is done through open tender. So it should have been tendered in a procedural way. So what we are doing is we will go deeper to understand more about these allegations and the claims that are being made against your office. Honorable Anthony, you have something? Because we want to wind up.
Upon observation, I sympathize with this, yes. Because he relied, in fact, he came to the office recently. And according to my own observation, you relied on information that you were given. And you were not given adequate information. Whoever gave you the information did not give you sufficient information concerning the same. That is why, in fact, the Marusa has posed a very pertinent question to you, whether you are owning this document or not? In fact, it is a very obvious answer that, according to your responses, you don't own this information. It is not because of your mistake, but the mistake lies with the people who gave you the information. And when you are given the information again, maybe you are given half-baked information but which you cannot be able to own. Thank you.
Thank you. We want to round up now. I know we have had several questions, and I also believe you have responded fully. What you are looking for is we want to know the causes of pending bills in our county. Also, there are allegations from suppliers and contractors, but sometimes they do work and supply items and goods to the county government, and yet it takes a lot of time for them to get paid, yet they have over services. Same to development, where they do roads, they do projects like hospitals, dispensaries, and always when you're doing budget, the executive, especially the finance team and the rest, when we implement the projects, they always claim to be paying pending bills. Or when you want to do a project like water, they say there is pending bill. Now, this is the office that is running the office of the governor, and it should lead by example, because this is where we should expect that such kind of issues should be sorted without any excuse, and in a clean, transparent, and fair way. The documents presented to us, either from you or from the Contractors Association or any other person, we will analyze and we will also make recommendation and write a report regarding the same. All we need is to clear this mess for the pending bills in our county government. I know there might be reasons in your department, and there are reasons that are maybe general reasons that affect the whole county. But what you need to do as the officer in charge is to be keen on details that are captured within your department. Because anything that is happening, even a single item, you should be very keen. And it should be in your table. Because when I look at the table that you presented to us, has very few items. It doesn't have, it is not voluminous. It is not something like 1,000 pages. It is only 2 pages. The budget should be at your fingertips. Because why do you allow people to spend where there is no money? Why do you create a hole where there is no hole? Kindly, you need to stick to the budget. You don't have to create other reasons to justify expenses that are not necessary. So what you need to do is kindly supply to this house the documents that will prove that there are existing pending commitments, the pending bills that were paid, and proof of that. And again, kindly clarify on the Contractors Association and the status of what they claimed that you owe them, so that we can be able to come up with a clean report stating on the true status of the pending bills. Kindly go through the tax force report and compare with what you presented to us again, so that we are able to get a true picture. Otherwise, let me give you a chance to give closing remarks and present the documents by close of day tomorrow.
Chair and honorable members, it's my duty to appreciate you for your kind gesture on inviting us to make these presentations. I take fully your advice and your directions that we do supply the pending bills and commitments, that we also clarify with Contractors Association and document is given to us. and we do make adequate comparisons. I fully appreciate. As I had mentioned before, we had made request to the to the committee on it's called what? Just a minute. We had made request to county budget policy framework that if they could consider, so that we may not have the risk of constantly having pending bills of this magnitude. We would wish, due to the elasticity made available, or if that was not even available, that the budget ceiling could be increased so that as to accommodate for all these pending bills. That could be, that we would really appreciate. Otherwise, at this point, I still appreciate that you gave us the attention, and we appreciate very well. We are ready on call at any moment to appear before yourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me thank honorable members, Secretariat, and your office for sitting patiently here and also providing information that is required. We do appreciate and kindly honor what you requested. And let me request that we have a cup of tea after this. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Having there no other business, the meeting is adjourned till tomorrow 9:30. Thank you.